This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Welcome back to the show.
Take care, Polly Wally.
He's a homer. He doesn't call me as a homer.
Stop it! Stop it!
Little hoop action. Roll him. Action. You can put it on the board. Yes.
I love you, P.A. You are the best.
9 to noon.
Shame on you for saying that.
Sorry, KFAN.
9 to noon. I know, right?
Ooh.
Super Bowl, homeboy.
The Duke is on fire!
Just like the 9 to noon show on a cloudy Thursday in the cornfields. Welcome. You're listening to FM 100.3 KFAN. It's 9 to noon. Paul Allen by your side, Nordo produces. Joining us now in the 651 Carpets Plus studios is Parker Fox. From the Power Trip to 9 to noon at Parker Fox via X if you would like to follow, as 9 to noon does. And he's with us now. What's up, buddy?
Good morning.
Sounds like sludgy. Sounds like old Corey Cove did decently in Las Vegas with the World Series of Poker, right?
Yeah, he made some money. I think there was a $10,000 buy-in, ended up at 17. So taking home 7 is always nice when you go to Vegas, right? Usually people are losing more than 7.
You ever watch the World Series of Poker?
It's one of those things where,
or like poker on TV.
I think you leave ESPN on and then you go do something and you come back late night and there's poker on. And I had no idea what I was watching when I was 14, 15, 16 years old in Matamidi. But now that I got older and was able to go to casino, I learned a little bit. And now when it's on, I'm like, okay, this person's going to win. And then there's some sort of card that comes back door. And then this person's got the lead. So it's always intriguing. And following Corey's fun too, just because we know him around here pretty well.
I think, I don't think I know because I've played Texas Hold'em a million times. Totally. I enjoy the game. But the problem is the problem for me is if you want to take it seriously and if you want truly to give yourself the best chance to win.
Yes.
Whether you're playing at Canterbury Park or you're playing in the World Series of Poker. You need to have the time and the patience.
Totally.
To sit there like 4 hours minimum, maybe a 6 or an 8 piece.
Yeah.
So you can sit back and wait for your position and wait for your super special check raise spots and bluffs and things like that. It's a fun game. It's making money with your mind, which is dramatically better than pulling the lever on a slot machine.
Totally.
Where you're just leaving everything to chance.
Yeah.
So it's making money with your mind, like horse racing. That's one thing that draws me into pari-mutuel wagering. Taking a little bit of money and wagering it and hopefully winning a lot as opposed to pulling the lever and lose. Ooh, I almost got 3 cherries. Lose. Ooh, I almost got 3 sevens. Lose.
The slot slander this morning.
But and slot machines can be fun, don't get me wrong, but from a profitability standpoint over the long haul, everybody's going to go broke and they all know it because they are broke.
A lot of monuments have been built in Las Vegas because of slot machines.
That's right. No doubt. It's almost like the Wheel of Fortune slot machine was so negative for people who played it. They accrued so much money, they were like, hey, Let's find Chuck Woolery and some lady named Vanna White and start a TV show and call it Wheel of Fortune.
That's right.
As opposed to the other way around, because it's a popular slot machine. But,
no doubt.
So I'm assuming here that you haven't played a lot of Texas Hold'em.
No,
Because it's fun, but you got to have the time, man, and the mental grind and stuff.
I don't think I've ever technically played it in like a sit-down setting at a casino. They have the online video poker stuff that I've definitely dabbled with a little bit just with my buddies at the casino. But, we used to have in one of our parents' basement, we would have poker nights with some of my friends. And, that's a little different because you're talking to everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not the same kind of camaraderie.
Cheating.
And
you're hiding cards up your sleeve.
100%. And there's a little more that goes into it that would probably get you kicked out of a casino. And there's not money like Corey's playing with. But just to kind of learn the game was always fun. And it's a great way to get your buddies together and play. But I definitely, I'm no expert, that's for sure. I still have to know if a straight beats a
Come on.
Whatever. I don't even know, man.
Three of a kind or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That. Sure.
I have no idea what the order goes in terms of winning, but I have fun with it.
You like Texas Hold'em, Nordo?
I love playing it, but I think I'm like a lot of people in my age group where there was the big TV poker boom. It felt like late 90s, early 2000s.
Massive.
The Chris Moneymakers of the world, right? And,
Perfect name to start with.
And so whether, and then you had the
poker brat, Phil Hellmuth.
Well, Hellmuth, by the way, there's a great video out there. He laid down this ace king just by feel, and the guy ended up having a pair of kings. Somebody else had folded a king. It was
he got
great.
bounced.
No, he didn't take the cheese, and there's just a brilliance to the art of how these guys play. But how home games, everyone throws 20 in and, winner takes all, second place gets their money back or something like that. But to what goes into it from a mathematical standpoint, and it's not just bluffing, but everything's at the right time and understanding why you do something in this particular point. It's really fascinating for me. I actually do watch a fair amount of it.
Yeah, I like watching it too.
Yeah, when it's available on TV, just to see those bits. But I when I was in college, man, the online poker,
massive.
Like Poker Stars.
Yep.
I mean, I blew through some serious paychecks courtesy of Best Buy down in Mankato. Playing $20 sit and goes after a few beverages on a Saturday night and just got rocked.
Wow.
And so
tough one, Norton.
Gee, I'm glad you're getting that out now.
So I've never
let it all loose.
So I enjoy it. Playing it, if it would be us and three other people at a table in a basement,
be sweet.
Yeah, having some bourbon and just shooting the bleep and doing all that. I'd love that. Open to that. I would never pony up even at Canterbury. I've done a couple of tournaments and things like that, and I just don't have it because I don't have the commitment and the mental side of it. I haven't invested in that like you were talking about is so important to being good at it.
Now, the Captain Cool Covenant, it's age old, 9 to noon or 10 to 1 just for fun at AM 1130 KFAN. And like when I say Captain Cool Covenant, just think make believe like museum or HOF in Las Vegas where I don't know why I came up with it. It was 20 some odd years ago. Derek Jeter. He was like in the Captain Cool Covenant.
Yeah.
So you got to be good. You got to be immortality like, and you got to be cool. Derek Jeter had a lot of cool to him. Tom Brady had a lot of cool to him.
Yeah.
There was a poker player around the time you're talking about. Not Chris Moneymaker, not Johnny Chan.
Phil Ivey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's the first guy I thought of when you said Captain Cool. Phil Ivey's that guy.
If there was a poker wing of the Captain Cool Covenant, I mean, there may be several in there. There would be Doyle Brunson in there, even though he may not be the coolest thing in the world, but you got to start somewhere.
He's OG.
He's OG.
Sure.
Thank you. So we got OG. Then we got this young man here, Phil Ivey. I mean, he had a run where he not only was crushing on television. I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars in the World Series of Poker and then the side games and everything, but he was just kind of cool,
Well, he was cool, but and I had read a little bit about Phil, where Phil made his money. You'd see him in the World Series of Poker and all the promotion, but Phil Ivey would be the guy that if you're a whale and you roll into Vegas and I'm looking for a big game and I got a ton of cash to throw on the table, Phil's I want to play with Phil.
Yeah.
And Phil apparently has made millions billions of dollars over the course of the last quarter century, just taking it from super rich people.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other end of it, it's crazy because you see those personalities. Phil, Captain Cool, Daniel Negreanu has made a terrific career. I think he lives out in Vegas, big social promoting name in the industry.
Was on 9 to Noon within the last 20 years to promote something.
Yeah, courtesy maybe of Charch, or through Charch, was there a connection potentially?
Can't remember, but he's a massive Toronto Maple Leafs fan. So it's kind of like being a Toronto Maple Leafs fan and going to their postseason games is like shoving all of your chips in on the first 5 hands, going bust every year.
Yeah, that's the classic 7-2 offsuit, being a Leafs fan now.
And playing it because you got position and then trying to bluff it, and Austin Matthews and you were out.
But he joined to promote when Vegas became an NHL team. I think he was one of the people in the 702 that were trying to promote the whole bit.
Mm-hmm.
But for every Negreanu, for every Phil Ivey, and for every even Corey Cove, for instance, right? Stakes himself, goes there. Congratulations to him. That's awesome. He's walking away with money. I mean, we're talking out of 10,000 people. He finished like 1,100th. That's sweet.
Really hard to do what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations to him. But you kind of you kind of dig into it a bit deeper. For every one of those guys, even down to the Corey Cove, if we're putting him in the poker spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these guys, like, they're getting staked by people with money.
Yeah.
When they're high, it's high. When it's low,
great point,
they can't buy lunch. I mean, there's an underbelly aspect to the poker world too, where people are riding with their last $10 hanging out of the back of their pocket, man.
Wait, if either to land the plane here. If any of us were to play in the World Series of Poker, or say I don't know, the banker, who you now know, Tim Siegley.
Yeah.
Say the banker.
I need you to stake me, Tim.
Yeah, well, he's going to stake. Well, Tim would stake all 3 of us.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
We'd roll in. We're in for $10K each. Then we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
We got to play.
Wearing a First Resource Bank hat at the table.
There you go.
Got to compete. Would any of you wear dark sunglasses indoors at the tables?
I feel like I'd have to. I feel like
but you do it to look cool because you look cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's like,
they don't do it to look cool. Maybe some of them do that.
What are they doing it to hide? Like, literally, it's to hide their eyes.
Who's the guy that he wore the sunglasses at the table with like the
eyeballs popping out?
Like the cat eyes at the table?
Oh,
yeah, I'm not into that. I'd be fine without sunglasses.
Yeah.
I'd be first out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'd be fine without shades.
I go Dan Bilzerian swag.
What's that?
You know Dan Bilzerian?
Yeah, the guy with the boat and the ladies.
Yeah, he's supposedly started out on poker and supposedly won $50 million in a year.
Of course he
like
did.
$10 million in one night type of deal. So I think his energy and his aura would something I'd be trying to match, but I don't think my $10,000 buy-in would quite be what he was dealing with.
Big day for you and I today.
Big day.
Simply because you've never seen me dressed like this.
Yeah, you look very handsome today. Yeah.
Well, why don't I look handsome other?
I mean, you look handsome
Mondays
all the time.
Thursdays?
But just today's a little special.
Are you familiar with a Paul McCartney?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Okay. I had the opportunity to introduce his big concert, which is taking place at U.S. Bank Stadium in October this morning. So I'm at U.S. Bank Stadium at 6:30. The whole thing comes off at 7 o'clock. It was beautifully handled. And the whole thing was excellent, save one facet where Nordo may chuckle, but he won't be surprised. That the facet that and again, it didn't ruin it for me. Mm-hmm. It's just for whatever the reason, until a couple of days ago, I actually thought Paul McCartney was going to be there.
Laughing at you.
So I'm the one they asked a few weeks ago to do this. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily a Beatles fan, but this
is immortality.
This is maybe I'm Amazed, My Love, Silly Love. I'm so Jet, Band on the Run. I mean, this is OG right here for sure.
The chance to meet him would be unbelievable.
Right. So, I mean, I was all ready for the selfie. Yeah. And I just, I learned a couple of days ago that he wasn't there this morning, where when I say it to people, they look at me and don't want to call me dumb because it's like, I mean, are you surprised?
Can't call you dumb in those loafers.
That the Cole Haan Off-Whites.
That's
right. Sure you can call me dumb, but maybe I shouldn't be surprised that for like a standalone event in the middle of October at U.S. Bank Stadium when he's doing other places too. I just thought that he was going to be there for some reason, and I was a little saddened a couple of days ago.
You just spent a long weekend on Lake Minnetonka, starting out
working on the tan and everything.
No doubt.
So foolish of me, I know, but the child in me got excited to meet Music Immortality.
Well, and that's the tough thing too. Like they can't let you down. I mean, he probably was not going to show up for
probably being 98%
for an announcement to an event. I'd go close, 99 and change. We'll say.
Thank you.
But your excitement about who's going to break that to you? Mm-hmm. Who's going to tell you that the Tooth Fairy's fake? Who wants to see you cry?
I'm just going to take all this.
Nobody wanted to be the person that's like, Paul.
Yes,
it's just going to be you.
You're the only Paul here, brother.
A couple of cameras.
Two people who were tied to it. One person here who asked me to do it, and somebody with the event. And when they responded, one was no silly, LOL. And I'm like, why am I silly? Why is it silly to think that he possibly would have been there?
Yeah, if this is going to be a massive show, which it will be, you said it's in October.
Yeah, like October 16th.
Why can't Sir Paul show up?
Mm-hmm.
Is that too much to ask?
Right, I agree.
I think he should have been
Especially
here.
Especially this time of the year. This is the time of the year you want to be in the land of 10,000 lakes.
Right.
So for me, Daryl Hall and John Oates, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Michael Jordan are still the most famous people I've met. Paul McCartney was going to soar to the top of that chart this morning.
Yeah.
Silly, LOL. But nevertheless, it stays. Daryl Hall, Sugar Ray Leonard, Michael Jordan. I guess I could put Brett Favre and Randy Moss in there, but it's like music and Sugar Ray Leonard when he was on top of the beam of Michael Jordan. They transcend different things than some of these football players. But nevertheless, who would be the most famous person or some of the most famous people you've met in your young life, Mr. P. Fox?
Wow, that's a tough one. I think, I obviously go to basketball right away, being in the space 100%. For so long.
I would guess Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, Chet's...
He'd be close, right?
Yeah, and I think Chet's up there. He just signed a big contract, $250 million. I actually met Shaq briefly at the Timberwolves playoff last year. It was
not basketball player, movie star.
Exactly, and ironically just was walking to the bathroom, and here comes Shaq turning the corner, and I was like, this is incredible timing. So Shaq is up there, and then I met
Did you get a selfie?
I did get a selfie. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll show it to you off air. I was like, let me get a quick selfie here, Shaq. And you have to go up angle. So you've probably seen up my nose because he's a pretty tall individual.
Oh, man.
And then at the ESPYs, Taylor was invited to the ESPYs last year. So that was a place where
she brought you?
And she brought me. I got the lucky invite. Saw Myles Garrett. He was huge in a suit.
Yep.
And then probably the coolest one there was Lil Wayne, Weezy F. So
there you go.
Lil Wayne was definitely up there in terms of meeting famous people. Maybe it could pick one or two more out if I had the time, but that's a pretty good one.
So Daryl Hall, Sugar Ray Leonard, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I met Harry Kane.
Did you really?
2 years ago at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Oh, no
he was
way.
in front of me in the security line.
No way.
And the Tottenham team had been to Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center within a couple of years of it.
Yep.
And Harry Kane was not he was not on that trip. But pretty much the rest of their team was. Wow. And it was super cool.
Well, I'm a Tottenham Rube, right? Like, really? Big Tottenham fan.
Who's their Sonny something?
Yeah, Hyun-Min Sung is his name.
Yes.
Yeah,
I met him. He's cool.
The Korean striker. But then they have this new guy that is from England. His name's Dom Solanke. He's their new guy. But Harry Kane was the reason why I became a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, he's cool.
And he's immortality.
It's a great name. It's an all-time sports name.
Yeah, and he has a sweet lisp too. So it's he's always a good listen.
What about you, Nords? Most famous person you've met?
It's probably just NFL people that have caroused with at the combine and following maybe a certain PR rep around and meeting luminaries within the NFL. So,
like at the combine, I bet you met some famous people at the combine. Top floor St. Elmo's, a place called Prohibition, and maybe the commissioner's wife sitting down and catching up with a certain PR rep. Yeah.
And getting to meet her, and eventually I did actually get to shake hands, at least with the commissioner himself, Goodell.
Sweet.
But other than that, it's the I mean, to be honest with you, from a casual standpoint, outside of the Vikings bits, I would say combine coaches, GMs, people like that, just being in kind of a social environment and getting to catch up with them. But I've never met a Jordan. I've never hung out with a Chet Holmgren. I definitely haven't done that before.
I met to end this and chat about some Wolves Summer League for a second because your opinions matter. He's Parker Fox at Parker Fox 24 via Twitter. I met Michael Jordan 20 some odd years ago, maybe 23 years ago, when Trent Tucker, Double T, and Greg Popovich, he had a charity golf/poker tournament day. It was Immortality, where they golfed in the day, and then they ended up at Canterbury Park for the celebrity poker tournament. And the 1 year, I don't know if it was multiple years, but the 1 year that I played in it, and I got bounced kind of early, I was, so I spent like 45 minutes with former Nick Charles Oakley.
Wow.
And Oak Tree probably would be top 20 for me, all-time famous people.
Totally. Wow.
Just chatting with him, but we were watching Michael Jordan. Okay, so Michael Jordan and Trent Tucker were/are very close. So he would always support Trent in all of his philanthropic endeavors. Michael, it's not, maybe it's cliche or inaccurate sometimes when people are like, the high-enders like that are the most competitive people you'll meet.
Totally.
It never stops. And, like if you're playing Tiddlywinks or Jacks or
the coin flip game in his Netflix show.
AC Doocy or the coin flip game.
Totally.
Yeah, they A, want to win them all, and B, they get frustrated if they don't. I can't remember how many people were in the poker tournament. I'm going to say 1 to 150. Mm-hmm. I mean, we mentioned Phil Ivey, Chris Moneymaker, Johnny Chan, Doyle Brunson. I mean, he took this charity poker tournament where, like, say you win $3 or $5 grand, everybody's going to give it to the charity.
Totally.
He took that thing as seriously as if he was within the final 100 people in the World Series of Poker.
Wow.
I mean, he was quiet. He was stoic. He kept bouncing people, got to the final table. Now all of a sudden there are 3 or 4. Now all of a sudden there are 2. MJ and some Rube. And the Rube check raised him on an all-in and bounced him.
No way.
And Michael slammed his hand down on the table, and they're like, shook his hand, like, nice job, man. I mean, it seriously was like at the end of a playoff game, and embrace, like, dog, you got this. Go ahead and do
Jersey
this.
swap?
Whole thing. Yeah, it was a chip swap.
Wow.
Different breed.
But I saw it for an hour, man.
Tremendous.
I mean, it wasn't... All right, what time does my private plane leave to get me to Atlantis and in the Bahamas so I can play for some bigger numbers? Mm-hmm. No, he took it unbelievably seriously. He's that competitive, and he almost won the sucker.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear, those type of guys where it's like you're where your feet are and you're just trying to win because all you've known your whole life is compete. And Jordan, the king of that, man.
Pete Fox, some hot summer league action later today.
Yeah.
Wolves and Pelicans. Will you be watching?
Yeah, of course. I've always been
watched a lot of it.
Yeah, I've always been a summer league guy. Yeah. So we've had these games at the campus of Utah, kind of leading up. So you've had teams like Philly, you've had teams like Utah, you've had Oklahoma City. So it's kind of seeing those guys and some guys I played against. Janai Broom is on Philly, who we've had on this show. He's looked awesome in the early stages of summer league hoops. A guy I played against at Northwestern, Brooke Barnheiser. He got drafted by the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You see Ace Bailey the other night?
Saw Ace Bailey.
As the kids would say, he's a bucket.
He's a bucket. Yeah, the definition of a bucket.
First time I've really watched him that closely.
Totally.
It's summer league.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Florida guy, Clayton.
Yeah, Walter Clayton Jr.
Yeah. So I don't know if they weren't in the game at the same time when I was watching. Mm-hmm. I would assume he played. Bailey's a bucket, man. Yeah. And it's lesser competition. I get it. And things will slow in the NBA because they're grown men and he's going to have to work through things. Mm-hmm. But I guess I didn't pay a lot of attention to him at Rutgers. He's just naturally smooth.
Yeah, just a guy that on our scouting report he's on fire at all times. Like one shot going through the rim and the next 2 are going up for him for sure. So now the NBA, there's a lot of Ace Baileys. There's a lot of shot makers. So can he find out a way to carve a role, carve a niche for himself in the league? Like we'll see, obviously, right? Like he's a tremendous talent. But this is what Summer League does. It allows you to kind of transition into your team, into your roster and kind of feel out and figure out what your role is going to look like. Because you're playing in the summer league, but the regular guys are going to come in here for Utah, and you're going to have these dudes that are going to be like, hey man, you're still a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't your show. You're coming into our team, our organization. We had 15 wins last year in Utah. Like, we need to go in the right way. We can't go in the other way. So I'm excited for him and to see what that looks like. But yeah, Vegas Summer League right in front of us here.
What are you hoping to see again against this competition and stage 2 for Dillingham?
Yeah.
What do you want to see in these handful of games from Dilly?
Yeah, I want to see defensively that side of the ball. I think for me, a guy that's watched Rob Dillingham for a long time, I understand that his handle is elite. He facilitates at a really great level. His pull-up jumper and his three-pointer are solid. He's a really good finisher on the rim. Now, that's awesome, but there's a whole other 50% of the game. There's a whole defensive side of the game where you have to be excellent. And I was talking with my buddy Tyler Wall, former Wisconsin Badger, last night about Rob Dillingham, because Tyler played on Timberwolves Summer League last year. And I said, is Rob a guy that you think can really make an impact on this Wolves team? And he said the same thing. It's really going to be on the defensive side of the ball. Now, guarding a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, guarding Tyrese Halliburton's, Ja Morant, some of these athletic and big point guards is going to be difficult with his size and stature. But if he can find ways to just really be solid in terms of using his hands and getting over ball screens and not being screened, like the little things that people don't really think about on the defensive end, if we can see a little bit of that from Rob in the summer, I think sky's the limit for him on the defensive side of the ball, because I think that's going to be somewhere where his minutes might be 15 or they could be 25, depending on how well he's defending.
So if you're top of the key, all right, past the 3-point line, so straight away from the basket, and you have Rob Dillingham with the ball, and a person in front of him. So think of a practice drill.
Totally.
It's not a stretch to say there's nobody in the NBA in that situation who can stop him off the dribble.
Yeah, I don't think there's many guys that can go up there and now there's some elite defenders in the NBA, right? Like, there's some guys that'll press into you, get up in your junk.
But then he'll back up, crossover, shoulders, hesitation.
He's got a handle. Like, I hate to say, we've talked about on this show about Kyrie Irving and his handle and his
Allen Iverson,
his burst, but Rob has that.
Yes.
Like, his Instagram handle is Rob with the shifts, FITS.
Yeah.
He's so shifty, and just his ability to create with the ball in his hand is excellent. And I think that's why the Timberwolves traded up to go get a guy like him, you know? So he's a dude that you're like, hey man, he's got this special ability. Now, can everything get wrapped up? Because as an NBA player, you can't just have one gift. You have to have a really solid, well-rounded game. You have to be physically big enough. You have to be strong enough.
Yep.
So what your example is, one-on-one, Rob's elite.
They are going to feature Terrence Shannon Jr. starting today. So he's going to be the featured bit. He's like the Anthony Edwards of the Summer League team. Let's put him in different spots. Let's isolate him. Let's play him off pick and roll. And let's feature Terrence Shannon Jr. What do you think is next with his game? Yeah, well, he's a guy at 24, going on 25 years old, playing in the summer league. It gives you such an advantage, right? So you've played so much basketball. You probably have some 18-year-olds, some 19-year-olds that you're playing up against. So you have that physical advantage. You have some of that knowledge of the game advantage. I think for Terrence Shannon, if you watch him in summer league, you're going to see. You're going to see all of that, right? He's going to be at an advantage over some of these dudes that he's playing against. Now, can you transition that into an actual NBA roster, right? Like, can you go from guarding a Ace Bailey as a rookie to going out there in an actual NBA game, and you're matched up on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and can you still do the same thing defensively, right? So I think that's going to be something where when you look at Terrence Shannon, we don't need him to isolate on the wing and tell Anthony Edwards to move out of the way. That's not what we're asking a guy like that. We're asking him to defend at a high level, be able to make threes, and then go make energy plays. Terrence Shannon Jr. is such an athlete, 6'6", moves well without the ball, can get out in transition, can get on the rim. His first summer league point ever, his first NBA basket was a left-handed tomahawk. Yeah.
On I think it was on Yves Missy too, the almost rookie of the year.
New Orleans
Pelicans. Yeah, so I think
wait a second. I mean, I know the rookie class wasn't great last year.
Yeah.
Yves Missy, nearly Rookie of the Year.
I mean, he was up there in the voting.
For a little while he was.
Sure. Him and that Jalen Wells from Memphis. And
didn't the Washington guy win it, like Saar or Rauscher or something?
Who even won Rookie of the Year?
I can't remember because the rookie class was just a little negative.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But nonetheless, Terrence Shannon Jr., a guy that just has this athleticism, and mentioning Jalen Clark as well. Defensive side of the ball. And
Stephon Castle.
Oh, yeah, Stephon Castle on it. You're right. But I've talked about on this show countless times, PA, what the Wolves are kind of transitioning to in this next year is being a top 5, top 3, top 2 defensive team. They don't want to play in the 140s. They want to play in the 100s. So you got to find guys that can do that on the defensive side of the ball, and that's where you feature guys like Terrence Shannon Jr. and Jalen Clark.
You are the very best. Tell Taylor yours truly says hello.
We will.
And have a wonderful weekend, okay?
Love you.
Love you too, bud. Parker Fox. He's a man of many trades and is developing inch by inch radio-wise, and we thoroughly love having him along. At Parker Fox 24 via Twitter. That's part of the Timber Tech set list of what's on deck 9 to noon. And what's on deck 9 to noon, here's the deal. Vikings adversarial previews continue today with Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. Nacho is here at 10. And we start the final hour, 9 to noon, with the Steam team and a celebration of HOF. We'll call him H.O. Jeff, somebody very important to me. That's at 11 o'clock. When we return, Vikings adversarial preview with Nordo on lead vocals, just like now when he gives away some money.
The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, want to give you a chance at some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword grand, and you might win some money with the keyword grand at KFAN.com.
Hot days, humid nights, and non-stop plans. All that heat can increase hair shedding, while a packed schedule can add stress, which can impact your hair. Nutrafol's whole-body approach and clinically tested formulas support your hair from within, so you can focus on living your best life all summer long.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
Thinning hair is different for men and women, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas for men and women that are tailored to different life stages, such as postpartum or menopause, and lifestyle factors, such as a plant-based lifestyle, so you can get just what you need. Plus, users of Nutrafol men reported no impact to sexual performance.
Thank goodness. While many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficacy. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking Nutrafol Men Hair Growth Supplement, and 90% of women saw overall improvement in their hair after taking Nutrafol Women Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months.
Building a hair growth routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed. Enjoy free shipping, automated deliveries, and up to 20% savings with Nutrafol subscription. Plus, get free naturopathic doctor consults and a Headspace meditation membership.
Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering listeners $10 off your first month subscription. Free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com. Enter promo code CULTURISTAS.
Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com. Spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code CULTURISTAS. That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code CULTURISTAS.
You know what we'll do? Welcome back, 9 to noon. We'll just make this the Bites segment.
Love it.
Because we always want to mention one of my favorite groups here in Minnesota, local company, Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef.
Beefy.
They're a Clearwater, Minnesota company. Delicious product. Whether it's steaks, it's briskets, it's brats and dogs. They have so many different products, and you can get them online. Box of meat shows up at the doorstep, just like Brian at Canterbury.
Thousand Hills brisket might be my favorite.
Yeah, it's absolutely delicious.
It's really good. The texture and everything's good about it.
They do a great job, and you can get them at Coburn's, Co-ops, and Kowalski's locations as well. I got this text message here because we are doing, we're finding our way, Vikings opponents in 2025, and it's mid-July, and we're pumped for camp, so we're just kind of taking a peek over the fence at the teams we'll be facing in 2025. And we're gonna get to week 3 here And still a tie-in back to talking about the Netflix series Quarterback. Joe Burrow, along with Kirk Cousins, of course, being featured.
I watched episode 2 last night.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good. 1 was better. The whole thing's good. I mean, just the way they split it up between those 3.
Yeah.
Their personalities are dramatically different. Joe has that mama's boy thing to him, but he's super competitive. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
But to the text line here, as we were talking, let's look at the Bengals here. But Clayton from Rochester, hey, Nordo, when you talk about the Bengals, do you have flashbacks of the Cincinnati sweat scrimmage with the Vikings? PA comparing you to Patrick Ewing shooting free throws.
In the first quarter, he used to sweat so much.
Oh, 2016, 100 degrees.
Yeah, the heat index was 110.
100% humidity.
Yeah, it was all new to you.
The producer carrying equipment around.
Yeah, the traveling, the charter, the whole thing was all new to you. You got a little excited, and we'll just say that you crossed the bridge the night before.
Yes.
So therefore, now, you're going to get the job done in 10 of 10 fashion. Doesn't mean it's easy.
Doesn't mean it's easy.
But nevertheless, the show went on the road. The show went on. But man, holy cow, did you struggle those days.
That was rough. The last time we played the Bengals, by the way, 2021 season opener.
Kendricks threatens blitz from the A-gap, backs off, now he comes. Burrow, straight drop, deep shot, chase, got behind Breland, caught, 10, touchdown! Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase, 50-yard touchdown, and sadly, because he's on our team, they're working Bashaud Breeland, who is on his back, writhing in pain, sadly.
Oh, no.
13-7, Cincinnati.
That was 2021 was the season where we lost all of our losses. It felt like we're at the very death of games, final moments. I think this is the Dalvin fumble right here.
First and 10, Cousins under center, all
overtime.
set on left, goes to Dalvin, room to the right side, but then he's encountered and stopped immediately. Bengals saying it was a fumble. Dalvin, you did not fumble, did you?
No, he did not.
Dalvin? Waiting for a signal. Oh, Evans got the ball.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Cincinnati. First down.
But he didn't fumble. His butt was on the ground, PA. Rookie, I believe it's Evan McPherson, would kick the game-winning kick, and that was one of a lot of single-score losses in 2021.
That tight end, Uzoma.
CJ Uzoma.
Yeah, got us on a gotcha. Remember, they lined up on 4th down in overtime, and he leaked out. He leaked into the flat or something and got the yardage that was requisite for
What's
the
with us
Florida rookie to win
with tight ends and gotchas? Whether it's CJ Uzoma, Dalton Schultz with the Cowboys. It's hitting me right now. 0-5. It was Raheem Morris. It was Hayden Hurst.
Yeah.
With the gotcha with the Falcons when it was Friends and Family Day every time we played at US Bank Stadium because it was 2020 and that whole rat's nest. So welcome back. Team's a little bit different. I think that's the last time, by the way, the Bengals have won either of their first 2 games of the season. Because this is a team. The problem for the Bengals is
they were 0-3 to start last year.
They were 0-3 to start last year.
Here's how I know, because one of the
watched episode 2 last night.
Netflix cameras was not in the locker room, but it was like the bit outside of the door and you could hear it.
Yeah.
And holy cow, was Joe Burrow giving it to them boys.
Well, and I think his only victory in the first 2 weeks of the season, because that was week 3 last year. I remember it. That was when Jaden Daniels got loose for Commanders. That was his big night on the scene.
Wow.
And but the Bengals can't be beaten in December. Last year, I think they won their last 5 or 6 to end the regular season. They missed the playoffs at 9-8. But they can't win to start the season. They mentioned they started 0-3. We're going to get them in week 3, and I hope they're 1-1 or 0-2, or maybe get a victory out of the gate so we can handle them week 3. But they're going to find a way to lose to Stefanski week 1. If they do, they're going to house the Jags week 2. They're going to come to our house. Good luck to Brian Flores. I mean, that's if you're a Bengals fan right now, it's like, okay, we found a way to pay Jamar Chase. Love Burrow. Need to stay healthy. Joe, in that documentary, by the way, has mentioned that it's not just, rookie season gets the knee.
Yeah.
I think that was at FedEx. But in the
I'd forgotten how hurt he'd been during his career.
Yeah, the wrist situation that caused him 2023 to miss a bunch of games, and now he's learning how to play the piano. But good
because it helps the wrist.
Absolutely.
He said, I don't know if it. See, that's what was so boyish about him that I loved. He's like, I think it helps the wrist. I don't know if it does, but feels like it does. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, it's just one of the 10 stations in my house that I go to and spend 15 minutes trying to get better. I mean, for everyone worrying about corner depth, though, because I don't think there's going to be any gotchas from CJ Uzoma or whoever their current tight ends are. It's going to be about managing Joe, managing Jamar Chase, managing T. Higgins, and that explosive passing offense. Statistically, they're unbelievable. They don't even, I shouldn't say they don't need a running back. We've watched it. Like, they figured out how to use, because we played them a couple years ago, and it was the OT game with Nick Mullen. So the last time we played Burrow was 21. Last time we played Bengals was 2 years ago, I believe.
Jake Browning, though.
But it was the tush push with Brandon Powell behind. That just didn't work. But this time around, Chase Brown, he's not going to run for 1,500 yards on it. He's not the most explosive guy, but he's going to catch 50 to 60 balls out of the backfield. I think he had 11 or 12 touchdowns last year. And so this is, if there's ever a moment where it's who's going to outscore who, you can hope, if you're a Bengals fan, that they got better defensively. But who are they? Trey Hendrickson is in a contract dispute right now with the team, and
that's
he's kind of
a topic.
I think it really is, and I'm trying to figure out exactly if they have the dogs defensively to make a market improvement. So, where you look at a Bears game and you say, "Man, this is potentially an underwhelming game, and this is going to be about getting through the slog and the kid growing up." Week 3 almost kind of feels like, I hope you're ready, JJ, because you're going to be matching. I mean, it's going to be where our offense is going to have to be elite. Game 3, week 3 against these Bengals.
In closing, a very nice job with that preview. Trey Hendrickson signing is their topic, and he's digging in his heels. I mean, he's made a lot of money. It's nearing the end of his career. I think he's ready to sit out if they don't acquiesce. So that's big for them. Chew on this. And when we return, let's talk it out for 38 seconds and give me your opinion. Better overall receiver and why? Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase? You're listening to your NFL controversy leader, FM 100.3, KFAN. It's 9 to noon. Steelers in a second. The mailman, the civil servant, Johnny K. Kotishka. I mean, he doesn't miss a trick.
No.
Did you read the text?
Yeah, somebody's not getting their mail right now because he had to look it up.
But the quick fire, Jamar Chase without Burrow, and then the 9 to noon one-liners. I mean, this is like, this is 10 of 10 Rube here. I mean, this is like, how would you put it? Like radio stations, TV stations identifying the P1s or something like that?
Yeah, P1 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's
a P1.
Yeah, this is capital P1. He writes, Jamar Chase has played 7 games minus Joe Burrow. 31 catches, 409 yards, and a touchdown. Not exactly making anyone blush. 4.5 catches for 58 yards and 2.5 touchdowns on a year is not exactly the best wide receiver in the game. Justin Jefferson has done it with a guy throwing him hospital balls. Bro, you're capital P1, and we love you.
I always love that
Civil servant, the mailman.
So I split it up because...
Damn, y'all are working.
Jamar Chase works with Joe Burrow on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And Darnold, certainly apt. Kirk Cousins, lighten it up. There's no doubt about it. They ain't Joe Burrow. And that's just the truth of the matter, combined with the fact of how they operate their offense in Cincy versus Minnesota. I will say this. For a guy in Jamar Chase who has, it's like a third of his career touchdowns are 50 plus. Somebody can look it up. It's honestly like he has 15, I'm just going to say 15 touchdowns that are 50 or more yards. JJ has 4 or 5. My point is, if I'm in a spot where I need 170-yard touchdown, I am probably going to select Jamar Chase.
You're going to throw up the 50-50 to win the game in the end zone from 55 to Chase.
Well, here's the tough, but JJ's so damn good at 50-50s too. So I'm thinking the explosion that he offers within the context of that offense being thrown by Joe Burrow. If I need a 70-yard TD and it's live or die, I'm probably picking Jamar Chase. But every other aspect of the game,
he's JJ.
And you look at the consistency, and it is
kids are just the best.
It is the revolving door of quarterbacks. It is how much he's been relied upon at times.
Yeah.
And it is a guy that in if I need a guy open over the middle, I know JJ's going to be there. If it is a contested catch, I need my quarterback, by the way, to try that more often, and I'm hoping JJ sees and provides that.
Yeah.
I believe in my guy to make a 50-50, a 70-30, as a matter of fact. So from the route running and the versatility in totality of playing the position, maybe I'm biased, purple colored glasses, I think Justin Jefferson's a better receiver than Jamar Chase. With that said, good luck to Byron Murphy Jr. and Jeff Okudah and everybody involved week 3 because Rasul Douglas.
Yeah. You love when I do that.
I do. I'm excited for the gun for hire that we add camp time.
I did it with Jair Alexander for a week and a half.
Javier Thomas.
Because I actually thought that there was a chance.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, that's right. Jair played with Lamar at Louisville and they're dogs.
Yeah.
So now he's balling for Harbaugh.
So I think I would land on Justin Jefferson being the better overall receiver.
One thing on which all of us can agree, DK Metcalf may be big and strong, but he's not in the class of Jamar Chase and or Justin Jefferson, and he's part of the Pittsburgh Steelers covenant, catching passes now from Aaron Rodgers, and that team is next with our adversarial previews.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. First of all, it's in Dublin, so it's the land of castles, it's the land of Guinness. It's going to be awesome, and I'm excited for you guys to have that experience, even if it's short-lived, to kind of just feel Ireland for a little bit. That's awesome.
I wish you were going, and here's why. I mean, you'd love the game, you'd love the stadium.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole thing with it you would love. The Game of Thrones feel, like an hour outside of Dublin.
Yeah, I want to go find Westeros or some version of it.
There is an age-old, it's racetrack immortality. It's called the Curragh. Curragh.
Yeah.
So they run some of the biggest European races that there are. That Saturday before our game is a massive day there. I mean, like big sweepstakes and $1 million races and championship races and stuff, about 90 minutes away from Dublin. I think it's one of those bits, though, that, you haven't seen racing at like Royal Ascot or Europe or anything. I mean, it's top hat, it's tuxedo, it's pocket square. It's
sweet.
How about us? How about us rolling in a top hat? I mean, that'd be the bomb.
Well, no, that's the thing, though, because you know me and you know how low rent the producer is.
Stop.
I show up in like my Doge Father T-shirt and some flip-flops.
I'd show up with my Young Life Lincoln flannel, four buttons down to my navel, looking to meet a rider named Ryan Moore to get a selfie. What are you doing here? Carry on.
Our fashion does not generally meet the moment. Steelers are going to look completely different, man. I mean, it's Rodgers now. You mentioned DK Metcalf, George Pickens now in Dallas. I'm not about dying on hills. I think last year, though, they made a huge mistake when they went from Justin Fields to Russ. And I know that in the end, that was always going to be the plan. But he was, and it wasn't explosive, but he had 5 passing TDs, 5 rushing TDs, only turned the ball, had 1 pick and a missed fumble.
Howard just texted, I wonder if the most famous person he's met is Rod Carew.
He's still looking for his phone number from me.
Might be.
Every year at spring training. Hey, you got his number? Other than running against the Chiefs in a loss late in the season, I think it was Christmas Day, one of the Netflix games, but they ran for 200 against the Chiefs. They just, in the end of the season last year, they couldn't run the ball effectively to save their lives. Defense kept them in it. 33 turnovers created, among the most in the league. Maybe the Vikings defense was up in that number as well. But their offense gave it away 12 times in their final 9 games. The offense has been a talker. The offensive line has been a talker in Pittsburgh for a while. Russ and Fields combined for 49 sacks last year for the Steelers. But Russ has taken a ton of sacks throughout his career, even back in the Seattle days. So what does that mean? Same with Fields. Rodgers does not shimmy like he used to. You can kind of, if you're Flores, maybe you try to pull some film from the Jets. I know different personnel, but same guy. And we watched it, and you saw it overseas last year with the Jets. is when you put pressure on him, he does not move anything.
Yeah.
Like we can't, I mean,
it's all different.
We got to get real nostalgic when you think about all those times that Rodgers made us look stupid and bought himself time and just the brilliant HOF career he's had.
Yeah.
That ain't Rodgers now. So the offensive line's been a little bit of talker. How much is it the QB's behind him? Does that impact the run game? All of those things. But this defense, man's coming to play. Cam Hayward's trying to be the next Calais Campbell, right? The ageless one. TJ Watt, we know about him.
The bomb.
You know who they got, though? That's kind of going to be fun to see, even though it's against us.
Oh.
Derek Harmon, the Oregon kid.
Oh, wow. The nose tackle.
Yeah, we looked at him into the draft. Nice player. So they add him. And now, and Patrick Queen kind of maligned until he blew up towards the end of his run with the Ravens. He went to Pittsburgh a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have big play Slay. I don't know how much is left on the table for him, but Joey Porter Jr. is a corner that they like.
Well, they have Jalen Ramsey, too, don't they?
And they got Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that was for Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Minkah Fitzpatrick went back to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They have Jonnu Smith. So if you're looking offensively, Rodgers, it's the cupboards aren't bare. He's going to have DK making plays on the outside, but then the tandem of Freiermuth and Charch's favorite guy, who is actually uber athletic, Jonnu Smith.
Yeah,
they're tandem of tight ends, and if they can run the ball at all, that's going to be an interesting aspect of this team moving forward.
I'm gonna catch you off guard here, and if you don't have the answer within 5 seconds, big deal. The Baltimore Ravens defense, when it has to be good, is considered to be tough and stingy, and Kyle Hamilton back there doing the hybrid things and all that.
I agree, yeah.
From a pass rushing standpoint, I mean, do they have one identified, not like Matthew Judon? No, he's gone.
What about Matabuke?
Yes.
Is that a name?
Yes, that's a good name.
They had Pierce. Now, he's not maybe pass rushing, but fat bowling ball in the middle for sure.
Yes. Here, the point being is if you take the guy you just mentioned from the Ravens.
Patrick Queen, yeah.
And then,
Matabuke,
like their best, go ahead and isolate him.
Sure.
Go ahead and single him, one-on-one. With him, Trey Hendrickson for Cincinnati, Myles Garrett for Cleveland, and TJ Watt for Pittsburgh. I mean, is there a better division with true defensive ends? I mean, what do we got here? I mean, Grenard. Yeah, Grenard would be the A topic here for now.
Yeah.
And then
I don't mean this is disrespect, though. Would you put him in that tier?
Well,
as productive as he was.
I'm looking at divisions.
Okay, yeah.
To who has the greatest superstar pass rushers.
I got you now. My fault.
No, that's good. But Rashawn Gary, he would be in that conversation. But your guy, had him put his hand in the grass last year as
Jeff Hafley,
left defensive end. And he's thinking Boston College is up here playing BU in the bean pot, and you can't find Gary with a searchlight. But he's still really good. Then you got Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Thing is, the Bears slow the equation a little bit, don't they?
They do. Who are they running? Why am I losing it right now?
It's probably Jim Sanborn.
No,
remember that name?
I do remember that name.
I think he had a 20 tackle game against us one time.
I know they got Grady Jarrett now, the new Akeem Hicks and all that. I mean, Montez Sweat.
Oh, Sweat, yeah, Sweat.
Montez Sweat's not bad.
Okay, so that would be their identifiable A.
But I had heard Dale Dangbo. Remember that name? Mm-hmm. Free agent from the Colts. Colts.
Yep.
Not the Colts. Maybe he's in a cult, but probably not. Formerly with the Colts. I heard he's been awful this summer. I think that was from Lavelle. Lavelle told me that he's been absolutely terrible.
Odengbo?
Odengbo. Deo Odengbo. Right. So it's probably Montez Sweat. There might not be a division that's better than the AFC North with high-end pass rush stars.
Yep, we're going top of the head here. I mean, taking what we saw from the Rams and the 9 sacks, I mean, everybody felt like the 85 Bears.
Well, what if you do healthy Bosa, you do Jared Verse in LA?
Jared Verse, yes, good one.
I'm stuck with Seattle now.
I'm stuck with Arizona a little bit, too.
Oh, Arizona.
Yeah, that ain't going to be it. So that's not going to beat the North. I don't think our North beats their North. Do you?
I don't think so.
Hendrickson, Watson, and Garrett. I mean, Watt and Garrett right there.
No, it's going to be a cool marquee type of matchup there.
Yes.
Which is why we need, whether it's Justin School out of the gates or if Darisaw surprises us and he's back earlier, what does that timeline look like? And it's still kind of cloudy there.
Yeah.
It's going to be pack a lunch, right? And that's what I think all these games, and it's kind of repetitive in some ways, the AFC North, even though Stefanski's team just looks weird in the quarter, like, are we going to get Flacco? Are we going to get Pickett? Are we going to get Shador or Dylan Gabriel? I mean, they got 20 quarterbacks on their team. No one cares about Deshaun. But each of these games does feel like this is kind of tough. This is tough football. It's not going to be flashy, I don't think, as we work our way through the North this year.
You're playing very fast today, specifically with the recall. It's 10:02 into the second hour. Now we welcome Ben Lieber into the conversation. The previous segment was our Steve's Appliances Marathon segment, courtesy of stevesappliances.com. Go to the website, hit Shop Deals, and find deal after deal after deal designed for you. Then stop by the 7,000 square foot showroom and make a purchase. Say hello to Brian and Sarah. stevesappliances.com. Thank you. Nacho Lieber, Ben Lieber joins 9 to noon next on KFAN.